Most people think leverage is just a finance term, but honestly, they're missing 90% of the concept. Leverage in its actual form is anything that allows you to multiply your work without you actually doing the multiplication. You see, there are really 4 types of leverage, and most people really only ever access one if they're lucky. First, we have capital leverage. This is essentially where your money makes more money. This is pretty well known, and almost everybody can talk about it. Next, we have labor leverage. This is where you have other people's hours being utilized for your output. This requires some type of management system or overlook, and it can be quite tedious. Then we have coding leverage. This is essentially where software, or in some cases agentic AI, are doing work for you when you're not working at all. It might be one of the most scalable forms of leverage available to people today. Finally, we have media leverage. This is where your ideas, purported over multiple platforms, continue to draw in views and promote whatever it is you're trying to promote without you actively promoting it. This could be a video you posted 6 months ago, still raking in views, or a newsletter you sent out months ago, still getting read. You see, this is honestly why I started to try to make content, because I never really truly fully leveraged that last pillar, the content lever. And the scariest part, in the age of AI, the time to build some of these moats and really capitalize on some of these forms of leverage might be running out. That's why at 27, being in law school and trying to build a company, I think utilizing all these forms of leverage are super important, and honestly why I started to make content. In the age of AI, the cost of doing so might be tremendous. And so I felt the sense of urgency that made me compelled to actually start producing content. So the question I would implore you to ask yourself is not necessarily how hard am I working, but what really is happening whenever my work stops. The scariest part with AI is that labor leverage might become a thing of the past in the very near future. And what's even scarier is that most people only ever rent out their labor. Not only is that the one type of leverage that doesn't necessarily compound, but it might be the one type of leverage that won't exist anymore in the near future.